and welcome to Where You Are. This is Motoroids, and what we have here with us today is the new Ford Ecosport. What's new, if you might ask? Well, new is this new face with this projector headlamp setup and this brand new single-piece grille. And Ford tells us there are as many as 1600 new parts inside the car. Once you're done with the face and you move over to the sides, what you see is this new 17-inch alloy wheel pattern, which has been wrapped around by 205 section 50 profile rubber. And from where I am and what I see, this black cladding which has been wrapped around the car fits quite flush with the design. At the back, not much has changed. Spare wheel mounted on the tailgate remains. People like it in India. For the Ford EcoSport, the boot handle remains the same. It's a soft touch switch here. You pull it open, there it is. We have 3 bags here already. There's something new I'm going to tell you about. Let me just remove these bags here. What you have is this new tray which can be adjusted and positioned in these slots here. The seat now has a switch instead of flaps, so you just push it and slide it across like that way. With this tray in position here, that space sort of does become flat. So what's it like to drive? Well, this new EcoSport is powered by a brand new 1.5 litre Dragon series naturally aspirated 3-cylinder engine. It makes 123 PS of power, about 150 Newton meters of torque. What we're driving right now is this 6-speed torque converter, which is very smooth. It takes off without any jerks, and even when it's downshifting or shifting up, it's pretty much not perceptible inside the cabin. It does its job in a very smooth manner. Since it's a 3-cylinder engine, you might wonder if there are any vibrations. To answer your question, thanks to adoption of a lot of balancer shafts, certain components which are dipped in oil, everything remains very smooth. Talking about the seat, they are now wider than the one on the previous car. Talking about the engine though, till about 3000 RPM, it's pretty muted. After that, it starts making its presence felt. Since it has an odd cylinder configuration, the sound that comes through is not something which you would call sporty, but it's not much of a bother either. The other thing that's also new are these paddle shifters, so you can move out within the 6 ratios of this torque converter unit. The best way to enjoy it is slot the lever into S mode, and that way it holds on to a particular gear until about 6,500 RPM, which is where it starts shifting into another gear. Other driving aspects include this traction control system, which can be switched off. You don't need to hold it or something, you just have to push it once and it switches on or off. Around corners, this is a Ford, so it is a lot of fun. Since the new EcoSport rides on 17-inch wheels, the ride by itself, Ford says, has been softened a little. Talking about the steering, it feels very natural, feels well weighted, and around corners gives you a lot of confidence, holds its ground very well. Even on the straights, it's very stable and inspires a lot of confidence in the driver. Ford promises a fuel economy of 17 kilometers per litre. For all practical reasons, it should exceed 10 to 12 kilometers per litre in everyday conditions. Visibility here is good. I can see what's behind me, I can see what's around me. The driver's seat is adjustable for height. I'm seated at the back now. The seat by itself is very comfortable. I like the way this backrest has been reclined. There's a central armrest here with 2 cup holders. The driver ahead of me is enjoying the car, and still effects of momentum aren't being felt. I'm very comfortable. Otherwise, there's enough space here for me to rest my elbow. Space as such is not opulent, if you'd like to call it that, but it's adequate. There's ample space here for my knees to move around freely without them touching around the front backrest. And what this car misses out on though is rear AC vents. You don't get that kind of a fitment here, but that's okay since the main unit is pretty powerful on its own. And apart from that, it's a nice place to be here, right in the back. Right, so we're driving the 1.5 litre diesel now, which has remained unchanged as it was. We have 5 people on board now trying to test this car's pulling capabilities. Behind us is Rush Lane and Team BHP. Straight away, the very linear power delivery of this engine is very apparent. You don't really have to make an effort to pull away from crawling speeds or even from a standstill. This gear lever is not as crisp as you would have liked. There's some slight rubbery feeling to the stick when you slot it into gates. Noise from the engine is well insulated. It's a quiet motor by itself. Now we've just pulled up from second gear. There's no fuss at all. So as we were saying, this engine delivers its power in a very linear fashion. There's no kick in your pants like you would probably experience in certain turbo diesel cars. It revs pretty quick too, till about 5,000 RPM. Steering feels very nice to hold compared to say the Nexon. It's slightly larger in diameter. The screen, what you see, it might come across as in your face. But the good thing here is it is not affected at all by sunlight. So everything that you see remains crisp and clean at all times. Also, it looks really nice and operates with a lot of smoothness. So if you have to just flick between screens, so you just do this and it does it in a very nice manner. Apart from that, quality of plastics is at par with what you would experience on other cars in this segment. This is not grab bar, or it's just a glossy design element that they've put in there. These switches and everything that you see, this new AC panel looks nice. There's a nice damped feeling to these volume and this other dial here for the infotainment system. There are two slots here to charge your devices. There's another one which is a 12-volt socket on the right hand side, right next to the rear bench. Traction control switch here too, like the petrol variant. There are as many as 25 or 26 storage spaces inside the car. You see there's already space here. Ford tells us that this space is enough for you to keep your iPhone 7 Plus size phone comfortably. Glove box is, there are two compartments, not very deep. Primary section where you can store things is pretty shallow. Maybe a small tablet can be fit into the other compartment above. Except that everything what you see here is as it is on the petrol variant too. So right now in its segment, the cabin of the new EcoSport is without a doubt the best, is what you can say in its class. It's packed with features, although things like the sunroof or say a contrast shade roof is what you get on the Nexon and the WRV. You don't get that stuff here, but that's not really important. And if you like driving and still want to buy a compact SUV, this is the one you should be buying. To sum things up, the new EcoSport goes up against cars like the Nexon and the Vitara Brezz, but it has certain brownie points it scores above the competition. The first thing is the big 1.5 litre normally aspirated engine, which this one has. In comparison, you don't have a petrol option on the Brezz. The Nexon has one, but it's a tiny 1.2 litre, which is again turbocharged. And the convenience of automatic is what this car scores with. None of the other options available offer that choice unless the Nexon comes up with an AMT, which will happen shortly. But again, this one has a proper torque converter, which is smooth, ships really well. And if you want an automatic diesel, you might have to upgrade to the next segment, which is the Creta. All in all, it's really difficult to find faults with this car, except for the boot space, which again is adequate if you are a micro family, and should do the job considering that the backrest splits too. And a fun little car if you really want something that you enjoy. So we hope we've managed to cover most important points about this new car given the shortage of time. If you have any questions, shoot them in the comment section below, and do subscribe to the channel, share this video if you like it, and thank you for watching.